Hiya, loves. Welcome back to the Gaily Digest. I am Nigel.
And I am Joshua.
Welcome back, Joshua. How have you been this week?
I'm tired. I've not been sleeping
You're always
well.
tired.
Yeah, but I've not been sleeping well, so now I'm really
Well,
tired.
whose fault's that?
My dog.
That's it. Whenever it's someone else's
It's
fault,
the dog
blame
and
the
the
dog.
cat. They're constantly waking me up.
Oh, bless you. Bless you.
That's the thing with old age animals. They just get more needy.
So we are back this week. We have got in conversation. We have got more complaints closet where you are your usual moany old bitch, and we have got the last of the phobias.
Finally at the end.
I know. Y and Z this week. So we've got to come up with phobias beginning with Y and beginning with Z.
That'll be fun.
That will be fun. I wonder how. I think I've got a Z, haven't I?
I don't know. I'll wait for you to tell me what I'm doing.
We'll find out. So, without further ado, let's crack on with the show. So, we have got a bit of news. It's a little bit of a news roundup. Obviously, we used to do the news roundup and we stopped, didn't we? For some unknown reason.
The world became too depressing, to be honest.
I think it did. So we stopped. But some good news that we're bringing this week, and that is the fact that homophobic hate crimes, as well as ableist hate crimes, are now going to be classed as an aggravated offence, much in the same way that racially or religiously aggravated hate crimes were deemed to be an aggravated offence. And what that means is essentially that the courts are going to have stronger powers and are going to be able to dish out harsher punishments for hate crimes against people for their sexuality, their sexual orientation, or their disabilities, which I think is a massive step forward. Because I think it recently got through. It gained royal assent. It got through the House of Commons, got through the House of Lords, and it gained royal assent and is now being enacted into law. So that is a bit of good news because I think it's something that's been overlooked for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was my MP that was fighting for this and got it put through. I think.
Yeah, I think it was her bill, wasn't it, that she put forward? And absolutely right that happens.
Well, there's too many. The problem is, as I've said, I've had hate crime incidents and things, and the amount of time it takes for things to get dealt with, it slips through the cracks, or there's a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of, it's not easy to get justice, and and the sentences are always useless and not good enough because of the courts. But now, hopefully, it's more stricter and more severe, and hopefully that will be more of a deterrent. But I think again, it's going to take a bit of time because a lot of people aren't going to realise that there's a much more.
I think potentially there's going to need there's going to be inevitably some test cases where people have been a victim of hate crime through homophobia.
There normally is big cases, isn't there, throughout history, and then that sets the groundwork for future cases.
Yeah,
and it influences them.
It's not about, dare I say, it's not about hurty words. It's not simply a case of it's people saying hurty words, which you tend to find that it's the people that are on the right that say things like that. They love that line because they think it belittles us.
If you call them something,
exactly,
they go off.
But it's that point of, we can't help who we are. We can't help being who we are. We can't help being the way we are. It's genetic. It's in our makeup. And when you have someone that belittles you or uses language that is outdated, that used to be seen as socially acceptable but isn't anymore, and there are laws in place to protect us against that, the laws are in place to protect them as well. But when you start getting personal about someone because of their sexuality and start using homophobic slurs, or you're discriminating against someone because they've got a disability and you make jokes out of it and make fun of them, it's incredibly, incredibly belittling and hurtful. And it's the long-term impact it has on people because it makes people feel that they shouldn't exist.
Yeah, and I think laws like this shape the future generations, because back in the day when you couldn't talk about being gay, Imagine how that shaped the minds of the next generation.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't classed as illegal back in the day, imagine how different it would have been sooner.
Mm.
You know, we might not have as much. We're in a very good place now, but we've still got so much work to do. But imagine if we could be more progressive now.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, and if it's seen as illegal now and more firm and shows people that it's wrong, hopefully the generations growing up are going to start saying, "Oh, you can't say that, you can't do that," and challenging it, and then it shapes the minds of the futures. Then, but I'm a bit concerned about how it's going to protect trans people, because you know what I mean.
I think it. I think the legislation is meant to. I think it's meant to protect LGBT people.
Yeah, I'm just concerned how it's gonna, because obviously with the Supreme Court thing, it's kind of it's muddying the waters of what's this and what's that, and no one seems to be actually saying you can't say that.
I think again, I think it goes down to language as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I'm just concerned that it's not tight knitted enough for that, shielding that, because obviously you've got contradictions in the Supreme Court and stuff. That could water it down.
and this is the thing, as I say, it will boil down to the language that's used, because you will have people that will be very clever, and they will word it in such a way that they're not using language that is deemed to be transphobic. The nature of what they're saying would
That's what I mean about the
probably be
Supreme
blatantly
Court. The Supreme
transphobic.
Court could be used to shield certain ways of wording things. So I think future cases are going to be quite a big deal, because winning cases against these kind of people, you know
Trouble
what I
is,
mean?
they're funded by the mold queen, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got
a lot of
that's
the
the
time.
problem. There's so much money behind these far right people that money does seem to be king. You can't. Sometimes you just can't get up against that much money.
I genuinely and I seriously hope that this new piece of legislation does really help to protect and support trans people when they face transphobic hate crimes, because they are who they are. They are living their true, authentic selves, and they deserve to do that. They 100% deserve to do that. And as we've talked about on the pod before, seeing the way that trans people are treated in society breaks my heart, because I've got people that I know that are transgender, and they are the loveliest people that I know. They wouldn't hurt anyone. They're not nasty. They're not predators that they're made out to be. It's just absolutely shameful. So I genuinely do hope that this legislation does help to protect trans people as well. It's time for our chat. So we are going to be talking in conversation, aren't we, Josh?
Yes.
What are we talking about this week?
I don't know. I'll wait for you to drop it on me. You just drop it on me, and then I've got to make.
I can drop it on you, can I? Lovely.
Then I've got to
noting.
answer and come up with my opinion within about 3 seconds.
So this week we're going to be talking about difference between preference or discrimination. And what I mean by that is that I think I've certainly noticed it throughout my life growing up gay, that you tend to see amongst the community, particularly I used to see it a lot on dating apps, gay apps, LGBT apps like Gaydar, Grindr, things like that. And you would often have people saying things like, no fats, no femmes, and things like that. Now, I think people can take different views and different stances on that, in that they could say that it's discriminatory, but there are others that would say that it's preference. And I think where would you say that we draw the line on that?
I think it is a muddy water, isn't it, when it comes to what's discrimination and what's a preference. I think, to be honest, any of them you could say are some form of discrimination.
Exactly. I mean, you can argue on both sides, really, that yes, it can be quite discriminatory, and it can be quite offensive as well, to others that would be impacted by that. But you can also make a good argument that it is their preference. It's what they're attracted to, and I think sometimes you can't help who you're attracted to
Yeah.
for the various reasons
I
or for
suppose
whatever
it
reason.
depends because obviously the discrimination you have extremes. So
Yeah.
if you was to say you're not going to date someone just because they're not white, that's just blatantly discrimination.
Oh yeah.
There's no that's not a preference. But when it comes to body types, that could I would say is leaning a bit more to the preference side
Mm.
because I've been really large and I've been really skinny, and I've had comments on both sides of that.
Mm.
And personally, myself, I wouldn't really want to. I'm not really attracted to people that are like really buff, loads of abs and muscles and all that. I'm not. That's not for me.
Yeah.
I prefer people with like a little belly and stuff like that. So that would be a preference. But again, I wouldn't say I'm never going to ever like if I was single, I'm never gonna date someone or I'm never gonna like get with anybody that's got muscles because I feel like when you start doing all that, you're closing off a lot of boxes for yourself because
I
I
mean,
am I am a
you're kind of
firm
restricting your opportunity, aren't
yeah,
you? For
I am a really big believer in personality matters the most. Like really, I think if for me, you could have the most perfect body in the world, like a god, and if you do not have a personality and I'm just not interested in you as a person, it's not going to work
mm,
because relationships are more than the sex and the looks. You need to actually have that connection and you need to have things in common.
yeah.
You need to be on the same kind of morals and things like that.
I
So,
mean, we've talked before, haven't we, about obviously slight aside to this, but you've obviously mentioned about being really buff or having abs and things like that. And we've talked about body image within the community, about how there always seems to be a uh, a direction toward being buff, toned, muscly, and beach body and stuff like that, and that tends to be what the gay community tends to sort of veer towards. I mean, I think, like I mentioned before, when I put on a lot of weight and I then decided I wasn't happy with how I looked, and that was my personal view on my own body. I wasn't happy with how I looked, and I just wanted to. I felt I wanted to improve myself, and I started getting a six pack. I started getting biceps that were quite clearly on show, and I was getting more chiseled in my face as well, and I started to feel good about myself, but I fell into that dynamic that where I was fitting in with what the expectation that an attractive gay man would take. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as we all know, and everybody's attracted to people for different reasons and different body types. But I posted update pictures or progress pictures of how I changed across 6 months, and suddenly I was getting messages from people that I've been mates with or friends with or new to talk to on nights out that were suddenly, well, why did we never go out? Why did we never go for a drink? Why did we never date? Because I was fatter then, and now that I've got abs, now you're suddenly attracted to me.
yeah, that's definitely an issue in the community.
Yeah.
And like, this is what annoys me because your abs and stuff, they're not going to last forever. You're going to get old, you're going to get saggy. That's just how life works,
Mm.
thanks to gravity. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself and other people because it's a waste of time. And to be honest, if I was to look at someone's profile and it said something like no fats, no femmes, that is an instant red flag. I don't even want to be friends with somebody who would
Mm.
say that because that's instantly, you might as well just put in there, I am an arsehole,
Yeah.
because that is literally what you're saying. And talking not just from the body types and stuff, it's looking at the where they say no femmes. What this is, I think that's very internalized homophobia. I think that's you've got such an issue with being gay. There is this group of gays that want to act like your stereotypical straight bloke, where they're really manly and
Mm.
there's nothing feminine about them, and femininity is terrible. And I just don't understand why you just wouldn't. Why would you disregard everybody just because they're a bit more feminine than you are?
It's funny. I mean, it's funny you say that. I mean, I've I actually remember one profile in particular. It does stick in my mind where they said in their tagline "No Femmes," and they had underneath it, if I wanted to date a girl, I'd date a girl. Under the tagline of "No
So
Femmes."
they just presume that being a bit feminine somehow makes you a woman. It doesn't make, like, you know what I mean. Being masculine or feminine or floating in between all that stuff. That's just personality.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with who you are and what you
No,
identify as.
absolutely not. And I mean, I know people who are gay who are feminine, and and they're absolutely lovely people. And I'm not ashamed of them. I'm not embarrassed by them. I'm not someone that would discriminate against them. And if they weren't my friends, and if there was that attraction, I wouldn't say that I'd say no. I'm very open minded when it comes to the community, because I think that when we start getting to a point where we've faced discrimination throughout our lives, and we still face discrimination even today, and if we start discriminating against each other within our community over something like that, I think then we're failing. It's almost like we're having a civil war within the community.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it is just down to people being an arsehole. But I think it's also the psychology behind it. I think there's because they've probably been.
Dr. Wickham Young is coming out.
I'm not actually a doctor, just to let you know. But
I don't know. You showed me a stethoscope once.
Anyway, now you're making me lose what I was going to say now. Anyway,
Psychology behind it.
Because I think they've suffered a lot of homophobic abuse growing up, maybe, or they've witnessed more feminine gays being assaulted or abused or swore at, and all these things, and slurs and stuff. They'll probably swing themselves right over to the really masculine acting straight because it's like a shield. Because they feel like they're not going to get looked down on, they're going to be treated better, they're not going to get slurs thrown at them, and being feminine is kind of letting your guard down.
Yeah.
Because I would say that I'm not really masculine. I have days where I probably am a bit masculine, or I'm mostly feminine half the time.
The way you're moving your hands about, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just how I am. If you don't like it, that's not my problem, that's your problem.
Exactly, and that's right. In the way you put that as well, it's not your problem; it's theirs. At the end of the day, but I do think that, as we've said, that there is that element of discrimination there, and I think that we can do better as a community, rather than discriminate against fellow members of the community. I mean, okay, you don't have to like everybody. You're not going to get on with everybody, and as you say, it should be the personality that counts. If you've got a god awful personality, then I probably wouldn't want to know you, because I want to be able to get along with people that are kind, compassionate, empathetic, and decent people, and fun to be around, and can have a good laugh without using others as the target.
I do think that in the more recent times, I think back in the day, I think the no fats, no femmes, and no feminine people and all that stuff, that was very popular when I was on Grindr and things. I saw that a lot. I think nowadays, there's a lot of discrimination for the trans community. There is a lot of gays that will say no trans people. They won't even talk to a trans man because
I don't get that.
I know. I've always said I would date a trans man because it's the person that I would like, and there is a lot of gays nowadays that say I would never date a trans man, and then they'll say something that is blatantly discrimination and transphobic, like insinuating that they're not men. And I think that's kind of the new thing that's I've seen a lot because I'm not on the dating apps, so I don't really see all that now. But I've
Mm.
seen it online. I've seen a lot of gay men say things like that, and I just think, imagine being a feminine gay and someone says no femmes.
Yeah.
Imagine being someone who
It would
is
be quite.
larger than average
It
and they
would be
see
quite
no
hurtful, I
fats.
think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but imagine just being larger than a usual person and they say no fats, or they say no skinny people, and
Mm.
you are just skinny, or the no femmes, or no trans people. Reading that makes you think, why? What's wrong with me then?
It just makes me think. Yeah, like you said, it makes me think that you're an arsehole.
It's just a red flag. And we should shame these people. If you ever see a profile like that, just message them and say, you're an arsehole, and then just block them. That's what I would do. I would say, thanks for letting me know that you're an arsehole, and then just block them.
Yeah, but the problem with that is they might not get the message by
Well,
that
wait
point.
till they read it. As soon as they go to reply, then just block them. But call them an arsehole. They deserve it.
But again, I mean, okay, so obviously, as we've said, I think there's an element on both sides here that there's discriminatory elements to it, and there's the preference element to it as well. Do you think that defining the difference between the two is perhaps more down to language and the application of the language that's used?
I think it's not just the language. I think it's individual to each person, because if I said that I had a preference for a certain style, because I like people although I like people that dress smart, but I also like people that dress really a bit chavvy, because Ash is a bit chavvy as well. So,
True.
but I think if someone said to me, "Oh no, you're not my type because you're too feminine," I could probably find that a bit offensive.
Mm.
But someone else might not find that offensive.
Mm.
So I might find that discriminatory, but someone else might just say, well, that's just their preference. So I think it is a bit down to individuals, but I think certain things like saying no trans people, or no black people, or there's a lot of no Asian people. I've been told that a lot.
I've seen that
That's
before.
quite bad.
I have seen that before.
So
And I think that's
when
awful.
you're putting that in there, that is just downright racist. It's discriminatory. It's transphobic. It's all them things straight away. There's no working around that. But I think when it comes to looks, we live in a world that is so based on looks. It doesn't matter if we say we would like anybody. Everybody has something they'd be like, oh, I don't really like that, or oh, I like that on someone. It could be anything. Like, I like people who wear glasses.
I think when
I
think when you sort of going back to sort of my dating era,
back in the day,
yeah,
pigeon mail.
Oi. I did find that there were occasions where, you know, I would see someone and I wouldn't say that I had a preference or have a preference, but I would see someone and I would be like, well, they look nice. And, you know, I'd get to know them, and then the personality was really nice as well, and it would go somewhere. Or I'd think, oh, they look nice, and, you know, get chatting to them, and then from chatting to them, it's almost like, yeah, there's absolutely no personality.
But there is also
whatsoever.
going to be times when you would look at someone and go, oh, they're not my type.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what I mean by the preferences. I think it's very tricky waters, because
it's interesting you say you look at them and then you say, oh, they're not my type. But then if you don't have a type,
exactly. But if you was to talk to them, they could love things that you love. You could have so much in common, and then that kind of preference you had, where you were like, oh, they're not my preference, that could all of a sudden become like nonsense, and it doesn't matter anymore because you clicked with them. So I think this is the problem with saying you've got preferences, because you could miss out on something that's really special. But also, I think it is just something it's just inside us. I think we just sort of click with certain. Nigel's smirking because I happen to say inside us. This is how childish he is, but so professional. But yeah, I just think it is tricky to say what's a preference and what's discrimination. Some things you can just say they are discrimination, and you can't word around that. But some things that you could say as a preference and I could say as a preference, somebody else could say, I think that's discrimination. So I don't think you can really fully say something is or isn't something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we talk about saying that's discrimination, i.e., saying something like that's racist, that's transphobic, that's homophobic, or whatever, I do think sometimes it does come down to language in that respect, because um, I think we do have to be careful with labeling someone as one particular discriminatory
I think it's about respect as
trait,
well, isn't it? Because if
because
you was to say, thank you, but you're not really my type, that's at least then you're being honest. You're not being horrible. Because
yeah,
I've had people in the past, years and years ago, that I would message and they would say, hi, sorry, you're not my type. Have a good day. That's fine.
yeah, I've
Because,
had that, and then you
yeah,
kind of
because
respond.
that
You
doesn't,
respond with,
okay, thanks.
"Thanks
That's
very
not,
much. Have a good day yourself."
yeah, because that's what I would do. I would just say, hi, sorry, you're not my type, but have a good day. But I just think that's just how I am. That's just me as a person.
There was
Because
someone I messaged once, and the reply I got was "ew,"
see what I mean? I don't get
and I was like,
that.
"Thanks."
Yeah, but
it really
I
that
think
really helped my self
I think it
esteem.
is down to respect as well. I think you can politely say, "Sorry, you're not my type. Have a good day."
Mm,
That at least then, if they try and follow up and say why, you can just I would just ignore it then, because that's just going to put them down. Whatever you say.
mm,
Um, but I think it is. I think it's also about respect and the way you talk to people and how the way you're wording things. I think is
mm.
because if you just said, "Oh no, sorry, you're too girly" or something, that's just offensive, and you're going to make them feel terrible about
Yeah,
themselves. But if you said, "Sorry, you're not my type. Thanks. Anyway, have a good day," that's you know what I mean. That's more polite, and I wouldn't say that was discrimination, because you're being polite. You're not being rude. You're not putting anyone down.
mm,
So I think it is. It's very tricky to say what is and what isn't, because it depends on your language. It depends on the respect and the way you talk to people.
yeah,
It depends on if it's a protected characteristic that you're attacking, like being racist or whatever.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like I was saying, it can there's the element of it being down to language, because it's the way you say things that can determine whether that is discriminatory or not. Um, and I think that there is a fine line between preference and discrimination, and when it comes down to if it is someone's preference, and say for example they're not attracted to people, a certain type of person, or certain body type or something like that, for example. And as you say, if they word it the right way, sorry, you're not my type, but have a good day. That's fine. Um, you know, if they if that's genuinely their preference, and that they're not attracted to, say, the more toned body or the larger body or whatever, it could very well be that they've tried to find them attractive. They've tried to um, see if that's something they're attracted to, but they literally don't get aroused by it. Well, is that then discrimination? It's not really, because it's the way their body works, the way um, their brain works, the way their brain's wired.
Yeah, but I also think that with preferences, we're focusing a lot on looks.
Mm,
It's not just that either. It's like I've always said, my preference would be I wouldn't want to be with anyone who's not a gamer.
mm,
That's a preference, because that's something that's really important to me. It could be you've got a preference for someone who, it could be anything, like they have their own house, they don't live with the parents, you know what I mean?
mm,
Or it could be they have their own car, or they dress really smart and they don't dress casual, things like it could preferences could be anything.
mm.
But it's when you start crossing that line, like you said, and moving into things that people can't change.
Yeah. So think things that are quite personal
Yeah. When
about them.
it's them their very being,
Yeah.
that's just that's discrimination, depending on how you word it and what it is that you're having an issue with. But
Yeah.
again, you could find something that's discriminating against you, but other people could say, no, that's just a preference. So I think it's very tricky.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite dangerous to say that is discrimination or that's just a preference, because then you're disregarding someone else's feelings. If they genuinely feel that's discrimination and you just say, no, that's preference, you're basically saying to them, your feelings don't matter. you're not a victim. It's just a preference.
Mm.
So I think I like to talk about my preferences or what I like. I don't like to say what other people should like or what other people should call discrimination or preferences.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And now it is time for our final Guess the Phobias segment, which we started in Halloween, I think, didn't we? As part of our Halloween episode. So, Y and Z. Josh.
Just I've got like 2.
You only had 2 last time. Right.
Some of them I don't know how to pronounce either again.
Oh,
So
good.
That's
Good.
fun.
That's going to make this even more fun. Right. So, Josh, hit us with Y. The letter Y, that is not.
I was going
Not
to
just
be
Y in general.
philosophical there. Why are we here? Why are we alive? What is our reason for being? Anyway, Yenophobia.
What?
Yenophobia.
Is it the fear of...
It's not a fear of Japanese currency.
Okay.
I knew you was going to say that.
Really? Yenophobia.
Yeah.
Absolutely no idea. Fear of the colour yellow?
No, that is actually begins with an X, I think.
Oh.
I remember it from last time.
Oh.
It is a fear of new ideas or customs.
Oh. Interesting.
So someone's like, "Oh, should we go for a coffee tomorrow?" Terrified.
Right, my first one. Zetophobia.
Zetophobia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my brain went straight to feet, and it's
Zetophobia.
What is a zete?
Z-E-T-A phobia.
Z-E-T-A. Zeta.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's a zeta?
Zetophobia.
See, you can't guess these because what is a zeta? Nobody knows. Now you're going to tell me something and it's going to mean nothing.
It's the fear of
Yeah.
the letter Z.
Why is it not called Zedophobia?
Yeah, Zetophobia. Anyway.
Right, this is my only one I've got left, by the way.
Oh, that's all right then.
This one's easy, though. You'll know this one. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Oh, don't yawn.
Sorry, I started yawning.
It's so entertaining. I'm pointing to sleep. I know I've got a soothing voice, but still.
It's very soothing.
Right, yuccophobia.
What?
Yuccophobia.
Yuccophobia.
You've got to know this. You're not, are you?
Fear of not liking your food.
See, because I've got a horticulture diploma. So
Oh, fear of the yucca plant.
well done.
Ah.
See, I would have to buy someone a yucca plant for their birthday if they had that. Just there you go. Or just go in the house and leave one in the living room.
It's like. No, I'll actually tell this story afterwards. So remind me after we finish.
He won't shut up else.
Oi. Anyway, zygophobia.
God, that sounds like a fear of robots or something.
Zygophobia.
You said that very dramatic. That sounds like some sort of Doctor Who creature.
Well, there are zygons in Doctor Who.
Is it a fear of zygons?
No.
What is a zygon? Is that the potato ones?
No, that's the Suntarans.
I need
the zygons are those orangey, reddy orangey ones that have got like suckers on their heads and arms and hands.
So you need to call them like squid people or something.
They're not squid people.
Well, whatever they look like, and then I'll remember them.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, zygophobia.
I don't know. What's a zyga?
You'd hate this.
Oh, God.
It's fear of vacuum cleaners.
Oh, God, me and my OCD. While I'm cleaning, I'll be screaming. Every time I swipe
you'd be like that Catherine Tate character that screams at literally everything.
That would be me. Oh, I wouldn't like that.
Oh, dear.
I'd have to get one of those little carpet things that you just, the olden days, where you just roll it along and it picks it up. The carpet sweepers, is it?
Yeah, carpet sweepers. We used to have one of them when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, before electricity.
Fuck off. Did you say you were all done with yours?
Yeah, there's only 2.
Right, there's one more. I'm gonna.
Oh, here we go. I won't get it.
Zemiphobia.
Zemiphobia.
Yeah, Z-E-M-M-I phobia. Zemiphobia.
What's a zemi? Not semi, a zemi.
Damn, I was about to say it's what you've got right now.
It's the fear of semi. Joke's on you. I don't know.
Zemophobia.
What's a zemi?
It is the fear of the great mole rat. You'd hate that as well.
What is a great mole rat? Sounds like a king. I'm picturing one of the naked mole rats now with a little crown on. the mole rat king.
Oh dear. Anyway, just quickly, now that we've finished this segment for because we're not going to be doing phobias, guess the phobias anymore, are we?
No, we've got to think of another idea.
So
now.
we're going to have to. I've got a couple of ideas of what we're going to be doing. But
all right, get on with it.
We've got a couple of weeks before the next episode. After this one, anyway. So, talking of fears of things and getting, you said you were going to get someone a yucca plant that's got a fear of it, whatever. Anyway, there was a friend of mine that he broke up with his boyfriend because his boyfriend cheated on him.
Tut tut.
And his boyfriend had a fear of clowns, and it was his boyfriend's birthday, and he was having a party.
Oh my god, send a clown.
So my friend hired a clown to go to the party.
Was it a clown that looked like Pennywise? Though?
I don't know.
So I'd hire one of them ones. You know, like that thing that Ben does at Halloween.
Yes.
You go to that where you dress up and scare people.
Yes.
Hire one of them clowns with a chainsaw or something. Send them round.
Send in the clowns.
I wouldn't get a normal party clown. I get one of them clowns. If I'm gonna go for it, I'm going all out.
You've got to be doing it, haven't you? It's got to be done. It's now time for Josh to be a moany old bitch. It's Joshua's complaints closet. Only because this week I literally don't have anything to complain about.
I'm disappointed in you, Nigel.
Well, complain about it then. I literally, I have been thinking about things that I could complain about this week, and I cannot think of a single thing because nothing's really annoyed me enough.
This is the thing about me. I get annoyed at everything, so I'm just an endless list of things. Just borrow some of mine.
But literally nothing has annoyed me this in the last 2 weeks since we made the last episode, and I'm like,
how has nothing annoyed you?
Well, nothing enough for me to complain about.
I feel like you're just floating through
Maybe
life.
I should just complain about my brain not being able to.
I feel like you're just like dancing through a life of sunshine and rainbows and nothing's bad because how can you not? Nothing makes you want to complain.
It's just this. I literally do not have anything that I can think of.
I've just thought of one for you.
Oh god!
Because I'm so good at this. The builders next door.
No, I'm not going to complain about them because they're just doing their job and they can't
still complain about.
They can't
the
help
noise.
it, can they? They can't help.
See, I tried to help him think of a complaint and he didn't want to do it. So let's ignore Nigel and I'll just moan.
Yeah. Let's make Josh moan.
Right. Oh. Okay. Anyway, right. I'm going to moan. Not generalising all of them, just mainly specifically mine.
Oh God! When you start saying not generalising all of them, I feel like I'm going to have to put some kind of apology at the end of this.
No.
Go on.
Doctors, receptionists. Who gave them the authority to act the way they do?
Everyone complains about them.
And mine now, they don't call them doctors, receptionists.
What do they call them?
They're called
healthcare
navigators. What the fucking hell does that mean? It's like they're sailing a ship.
You know, in fact, you know why?
They do not navigate me anywhere. Anything I ask for help with, they do not help me.
You know, it kind of makes me think they call them that because they're often asking for what's your problem, what's wrong with you, sort of thing, to sort of.
And I said, none of your business.
And I think that they've called them navigators now to give them to empower them to be able to ask that, so they can direct you to the right.
You've given them an
care
ego.
That you get.
Where are they navigating?
I've not given them
the
an
only
ego.
navigating they give me is
when
you
might go to a doctor, you might go to a nurse.
It's when I check in and they say it's the door over there. That's the only navigating they give me. Tell me where to sit. They never help me where I want to go. They take too long to answer the phone.
Yeah.
And say you've got an embarrassing complaint and you have to go in and say to the receptionist, like, what's wrong? You're like, it's private. What's wrong? I need to know. So then you have to just, if you've got something leaking or something, you literally have to say really loud. I'm thinking of the worst case scenario.
Ugh.
So you have to say, oh, I'm sorry. Let me
experience.
just say in the middle of this reception waiting room, I've got a leaky penis or something. Why do you have to tell them?
He's coming for some knob swabs.
Yeah, but They're not a doctor or anything. Why have I got to tell you my business? They never help me, mine don't. Honestly, they're useless. They always look like you're the worst person in the world. And if you ask them anything, it's like you've just asked them to sacrifice their first child.
That does sound like something you would do, though.
Yes, but still. And then they're just like, oh no, you got to go over there, or no, we can't do that. And I'm like, what is the point of you? And why are you called a navigator? Because you're not navigating me.
Have you actually asked them why they're called navigators?
No, because I'll end up ranting at them. Apparently, it's because they help you navigate through the system. No, they don't.
See, that's what I mean. They navigate you to...
No, they do not.
They're directing you to whichever you know.
They tell me where to sit.
He's going to be the best person to deal with you.
No, they don't.
You've got hiccups now.
They tell me where to sit. And they don't tell me which doctor's best to see me, because you only get to see the ones that you actually can get in with first, because otherwise they'll be like, well, the best one that's to see you for this problem, you can see them in 7 years and 8 months. But if you want to see this person... Yeah, but if you want to see this person that has no experience in what you've got wrong, you can see them today at 3 p.m. and it's like 10 minutes away. So they're not... I'm sick of how... I'm going to keep calling them receptionists, because they're not navigating me anywhere. When they start navigating me to places, then I will let them call themselves navigators.
They navigated you to the chair, didn't they? So they've navigated you to a place.
They just sway their hand like over there or at the end of the corridor. That's it. And they're always miserable.
You can just wait outside, sir, Mr. Wickham Young.
They're never happy. Everything you ask them to do, even if it's the simplest thing, they just look like you're the worst person to ever exist in front of them. And then they're like, if you ring them up, they're like, please hold. And then they just disappear for like 10 minutes.
In fact, wasn't there that time when you had to go to the doctor for something and they told you to come down, and when you went down, the person who books appointments
was on holiday.
Was on holiday, so they couldn't book you the appointment, or they couldn't
because only she could do it. So you're not a fucking navigator, are you? Because you can't navigate me. And then they said, oh, she'll be back on Monday. And I went, okay, so can I come down Monday? Yeah, come down after 11. I went down at 11. What happened? She's ill. That's a joke. You did not go on holiday and then get ill the day you come back. I know you're skiving off. And if they can't do it, why is there not someone else that can do it? Why is there only one person that can do it? You're supposed to be a navigator. Navigate me where I want to go.
Well, they did. They navigated you back home.
Yeah, wasting my time. They drive me insane.
Clearly.
I think it's just a thing. Is that part of the job title, to be a doctor's receptionist? You just got to be an arsehole and don't actually help anyone. You just send them around in circles. Or is it just mine? Sorry
to any healthcare navigators out there listening to this.
Honestly, maybe it's just mine, but let me know, because they used to be really good years ago. Now the ones I've got now are useless. They're terrible. They just look like they just don't want to be there. They probably don't want to be there. And in fact, once I was trying to ring one of them and they weren't answering the reception, and it was ringing for ages, and I was in town anyway, so I thought I'm just going to go in. I went in. They were only all in the reception eating cake. And I just stood there thinking, I've just been ringing you for 10 minutes to ask you a question. None of you've been answering, and you're all eating fucking cake. Navigate to the phone.
They navigate to the cake.
And it was still ringing when I got there. Someone else must have been ringing, and they were eating cake.
Should have said, we're going to answer that. And then when they answer it, it's actually you, and you're like, yeah, hello, I'd like to make an appointment, please.
I should have done that. Although they were just ignoring it anyway, so they wouldn't come to the counter. But yeah, I've had enough of doctors' receptionists that are now called healthcare coordinators.
Navigators.
Some of them are called coordinators as well. It's very confusing. What's the difference between a coordinator?
Doesn't sound very coordinated, does it?
No, it's stressful. But what's the difference between a coordinator and a navigator?
Well, a navigator...
One of them point and one of them just tells the other one where to point.
Probably.
It's just, honestly...
Someone has to coordinate the navigators that are navigating people to various different places.
And I'm sick of it as well, where everything just seems to have 7 hurdles to deal with it. And now they're like, we can't take medication requests over the phone because there might be mistakes. And I'm like, then what are you navigating me for? What can I do? And the person who can do it, I can't see him for 3 years. So what's the point? Navigate me somewhere else where I can do it. And they don't. They never navigate me anywhere. So I'm sick of them. Honestly. Are your receptionists any good at your doctors, or are you...
Actually, yeah, they're all right.
Are they called navigators?
I don't know. I've never asked them.
Do they navigate you?
No, they just say that if I need an appointment, a lot of appointments at my surgery has to be done through an e-consult form. So you have to fill out an online consultation form. Although there was one once that because I recently had I was recently ill with sinusitis and a chest infection, having just had some kind of flu bug, and I still wasn't right. I needed to go for a follow up, and I tried to fill out the e-consult form for the follow up, and essentially because the form for the follow up, there wasn't really a proper layout for the follow up, so you had to fill it out as if you're filling out a new consult. But you put in the information in the text box to say that I've had this, I've been to see the doctors on this occasion, they gave me this, I'm still not right, and this and the other. And I was filling it out, and I was filling the answers that I thought were most appropriate for it, from like the little boxes that you tick the things, and it said, "Sorry, we can't help you on the e-consult. You need to dial 999." I'm like, "What the fuck?
Are you dying?" And actually, another thing my reception does is...
You know what? It's a good job that I've got nothing to complain about this week.
Well, I'm letting you get involved. Mine also does e-consult things where you fill in a form, but when they close, they turn off the system for that.
What?
What is the point of it then? I can just ring you. Honestly, if I want to do an e-consult and like fill in the form, tick boxes, let me know if I'm dying or not. If I'm not dying, I can book an appointment. If it hits like 5 o'clock or something, whenever the doctor's closed or the weekends or whatever, it goes, "Sorry, this is not on at the moment. It's turned off." And I'm like, what is the point then?
Yeah, because with my surgery, the reason why they do the e-consult forms is so that the receptionists or navigators or whatever fill them out. They receive them, they go through them, and they put them in order of priority as to what's.
So why can't I do it when you're closed? Because then if I get ill on Saturday and I want to see someone, I can just fill in on Saturday, and I know probably Monday you're going to pick it up and then deal with it, rather than me having
mine's like that. You can fill it out any time, and they say we'll get back to you within 48 hours. So if there's more pressing needs, they phoned me the following morning to make it all.
Well, yeah, if it said 999, you're going to die.
In fact, I think the second one I filled out for the follow up, they actually phoned me the same day because I filled it out in the morning, I think, and they phoned me the same day to make an appointment, and they got me in an appointment.
See,
on the same day,
I just ring mine because mine usually does that if I call them. But as soon as it hits 5 o'clock, they're like, "No, fuck off, go and die. We're turning off all the services. You can't contact us. You're dead to us. If you need anyone, go hospital." You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. I think this is because I live in like rural, tiny, in the middle of nowhere. We haven't caught up yet.
Yeah. Anyway, you done? Because I think we're running out of time on this segment.
Yeah, I'm done. But everyone let me know if you've got terrible care navigators or whatever they are.
And that is all we've got time for this week. We hope that you enjoyed the show. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Have you enjoyed yourself, Josh?
Yeah, and as usual, I'm now going to go and have a nap.
That's not what you just said to me.
What did I say?
You said you were going for a wee.
Well, obviously
you're gonna sleep on the toilet. You're gonna nap on the toilet.
No, I'll have a wee and then I'll have a nap. I won't wee while I nap.
Hopefully not. It will go everywhere.
Some people are into that, so whatever floats
True.
your boat.
True, but no judgment on people's preferences. Anyway. Anyway, as I say, that is all we've got time for. We hope that you have enjoyed the show, and we will be back again in a couple of weeks' time. So, until then, stay safe and be happy.